Okay, guys, let's start. We'll have a few more members join us soon. So, first and foremost, I'd like to thank all of you for taking your time out on a Saturday afternoon and being here. Uh, I'm going to introduce you all to Siam. Siam has been a faculty and a professor with here at Zell for ACCA and has helped curating all our accelerated programs. He's going to walk you through the entire course, the benefits of doing this course, and how you can aim for the three main objectives we look at, that is work experience, professional qualification, and a basic qualification simultaneously together. One by one, we require all these three qualifications to land ourselves with a good job, with a higher CPC job. We can get all of this in one course, in effort of one time. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Siam. Thank you.
Thank you, Purandari. Welcome, guys. Thanks a lot for joining. I know it's a Saturday afternoon, but you guys still join, so really appreciate that. It just shows that how much you guys are interested in your career. So I'm gonna just take you through the entire slide, which is going to be your pathway to a global chartered accountancy course. But I'm sure that a lot of you guys have a question, which is what exactly is the difference between CA and ACCA, correct? And you guys also want to know what are the benefits, as Purandari mentioned, that the three things which he mentioned, that you need to get work experience, you need to get your normal certificate. I'll tell you why you need it as well. So, guys, moving ahead, moving to the webinar overview, as I mentioned, I'll talk about CA first, the Chartered Accountancy course. The second thing will be ACCA, and then we'll talk about the ACCA accelerated program, which Purandari mentioned. Okay, so I'm sure you guys must be knowing a little bit about the CA course, right? So the CA course has been something which every commerce grad knows about. The moment you complete your 11th and 12th, a lot of you guys want to know that whether I should do CA or whether I should do MBA or whether I should do ACCA. But the first thing which comes in mind is the Chartered Accountancy course, right? Everyone wants to know about it. So just a little bit of overview about it. It is the most recognized course in India currently, correct? You get opportunities only in India. That's the con of doing the course, that the moment you complete it, and if you're looking for opportunities abroad, whether it's Europe, whether it's Dubai, whether it's America, they do not consider it at their level. They don't consider it as a degree which of their own, basically. And I just want to talk to you about the entire journey of a chartered accountant. Okay, so the moment a student completes his 12th, they register for the chartered accountancy course. Okay. The first paper they give is the foundation paper, which is apparently the simplest paper, where the pass percentages ranges from around 20 to 30%. The moment you clear your foundation course, after 9 months, you can start attempting your CA inter exams. There are two groups over there. The moment you complete one group, either group 1 or group 2, you can start your articleship, not work experience, articleship. When you're doing your articleship, you get a salary from around 8 to 10,000, which is more like a stipend. And only after you complete your articleship are you eligible to give the CA final paper. Okay, only after you complete your articleship are you eligible to give the CA final paper, which is the toughest paper, which pass percentage is around 5%. Now, when I say 5% pass percentage, it means that I'm not talking about 5%. It doesn't just mean that if there are 100 people sitting in the room, that means 5 people are going to pass. What I'm trying to say is the people who cleared foundation and the people who cleared inter, after clearing those two exams, the best of the best are going to sit for the CA final paper. And from those top 100, only 5 people are going to clear. Okay, so that's one of the cons of doing the chartered accountancy course, that it might take a lot of time to complete, number one. And by the time you reach CA final, you're just so drained, correct? You're just saturated at that time, and you're giving attempt after attempt, but you're very confused in life, correct? And that's one of the reasons why people are like they're stopping from doing the chartered accountancy course, because you're going in one direction, correct? You've decided I'm going to become a CA, but by the time it's 5 years are done, you're not clearing your CA final, and then you think about different options, right? But what the CA course did was, if you go to see it, obviously you will be doing your BCom BAF along with it. You got that. Secondly, you did get your work experience, as I mentioned, articleship, and you're getting your professional certificate also, the CA course. Right. Now we'll talk a little bit more about ACCA. Okay, the normal route of ACCA. Just keep these three things in mind, correct? When Purandari mentioned it, you need work experience, You need your basic qualification, which is your BCom BAF, and you need an additional certificate. Okay, now let's talk about the ACCA course overall. The ACCA course, the biggest advantage is that is it recognized in India? Obviously, correct. Is it recognized in Europe? Yes. In Singapore? Yes. In Dubai? Yes. Correct. So you can complete your course sitting in Mumbai, Delhi, Bangalore, wherever you are, but you can work anywhere across the world. That is the biggest advantage you have. So when you float your CV somewhere in Dubai, they're not going to cross question you and ask you that what exactly is the certificate. Okay. You can start giving this after 10th, not after 12th. Like the way CA course starts after 12th, you can start your ACCA after 12th itself. Currently, it is the largest and fastest growing financial qualification in the world, and there's a reason behind it. Okay, I forgot to mention this one point in the CA point in the CA courses. They teach you something called INDAS, Indian Accounting Standards. A lot of you guys might be aware about it as well. But what ACCA does is they teach you about IFRS, which is International Financial Reporting Standards. Okay. IFRS is something which is recognized all across the world. So if you're looking at financial statements of a company from Singapore or from China or from Japan, they're prepared according to IFRS and not INDAS. So that is one of the reasons why. As the world grew in the last decade, ACCA also grew. The couple of reasons are that investors, suppose there's an investor from Japan who wants to look at a company from Singapore, he will only understand IFRS at that time. Correct. He wants all the reports prepared in IFRS. So guys, currently in India, okay, I did mention we are using INDAS. But if there's any foreign investor who wants to look at a company, he will want the financial statements converted into IFRS and then he will look at it. But coming back to topic, INDAS is also 90% of IFRS. So it's more or less the same thing. Okay. But yeah, if you're looking at any global financial statement, it should be prepared according to International Financial Reporting Standards, which is taught in this ACCA course. Okay, as I mentioned here, it can be completed in 3 years. We'll talk about the subjects and how you can complete it in 3 years a little later. Let's talk about course eligibility. As I mentioned, that it can be given once you clear your 10th grade. You do not have to wait to complete your 12th. You can give your first 3 exams after 10th itself, and then you can continue giving the remaining 10 papers after your 12th exam. Yeah, you do need a 65% plus in accountancy and in English in your 12th grade. I'm sure a few of you guys are from the non-commerce background, probably doing arts or probably law or engineering. It's fine. We have FIA route for you guys. We give you a pre-learning, and then you can just understand. Obviously, you don't know the basics. Like if someone from 11 who's done 11 to 12 commerce, who's done BCom, obviously it's much easier for them it's a good kickstart for them. So here at Zell, we also give them pre-learning for engineering students and law students who have never never even seen a financial statement, do not what journal entries are, etc., etc. Okay, let's talk a little bit about the curriculum, and then let's move to the accelerated program. Okay. So as you can see, these are 9 papers here, and here there are 6 papers here. Obviously, there's optional here. In total, guys, you have to write 13 papers. Okay, you have to write 13 papers overall. There's no group system out here. Okay, there's no system that I have to give 3 papers together, 4 papers together. So in CA, there's a group system. Like for example, in CA Inter Group 1, if there are 4 papers: financial management, taxation, accounts, and audit. And if you pass in financial management, taxation, accounts, but you fail in audit, you have to give all 4 papers again. Okay, and even if you fail by 1 mark, you have to give all 4 papers again. Now that's a bit demotivating, okay, because a lot of students do really well in 3 subjects and they fail the 4th subject, and then they have to give all the papers again. Yeah, you can get an exemption in 1 subject if you get 60 plus, but the moment you go ahead for your first paper, suppose your first paper is accounts and you do bad in the first paper itself, you do not have the confidence to go for the second paper. Okay, and in case you fail the exam, your next exam is 6 months later. Your next exam is 6 months later. In ACCA, I've just shown you the list of papers, right? I'll talk in depth about each and every paper as well, but every paper is separate. For example, let's take a random paper. Let's take F6 taxation, correct? If I go for the taxation paper, I have to just get 50 marks in taxation and I clear it, correct? My taxation result doesn't depend upon what I've scored in management accounting or business and technology or corporate and business law. It's just plain taxation. The moment I get my 50 in one paper, I do not have to give that paper again. That's it. Okay, so yeah, let's just talk about the various levels. We have knowledge level, skill level, and professional level. There's a link between some of the papers between knowledge, skill, and profession. So let's start with knowledge levels. There are 3 papers out there: business and technology, management accounting, and your financial accounting. Okay. As far as business and technology is concerned, it is your basic strategy making. Okay, like Porter's 5 forces, pestle analysis, SWOT analysis, and a little bit of technology as well. They introduced technology because of the rise of fintech and AI. So they thought that even accounting students do need to know a little bit um, about technology. Um, that's called F1, business and technology, and that paper is connected to SBL, which is a professional level paper, which is on the same lines. Correct. SBL is considered as a mini MBA, where you're talking about strategy, you're talking about tech. They give you a good 15-page case study, correct, where you're reporting to the board of directors, to the client, to various clients. You're taking an interview in between the paper, so it just gives you a total like a mini MBA experience. Correct. That's your paper called SBL. So business technology and SBL are connected to each other. The syllabus is not totally same, but obviously SBL is a much more advanced version. But yeah, you'll find a lot of topics which are similar. Okay, moving on to F2, which is management accounting. Management accounting, guys, in your term is costing. Okay, I'm sure you guys must be doing costing, like margin costing, standard costing, process costing, cash budgeting, etc. That comes under management accounting. It's a very basic paper. F2 management accounting is connected to F5, which is performance management. So that's an advanced version of costing, correct? And F5 ends up turning into APM, which is advanced performance management. So those are 3 papers. Your management accounting, which is basic costing, then a little bit more advanced costing, performance management, and then you come to advanced performance management, which has your CSFs and KPIs as well. Okay, now moving on to F3. Similarly, in F3 financial accounting, you start with your basics. You start from journal entry, you move to financial statements. I'm sure you guys might be knowing P&L, a balance sheet, cash flow statements. Now F3 financial accounting gets converted into F7, which is financial reporting, where they introduce international financial reporting standards, as I mentioned, IFRS. So it's an advanced version of FA, and in the end, you have to go compulsory paper called SBR, which is called Strategic Business Reporting. This paper is full is mainly IFRS and consolidation of financial statements, nothing else. Okay. Moving on to F4. So a lot of people ask me this, that why this paper here, corporate and business law. So this is one standalone paper. There's no paper connected to it. And when I talk about law, it's more about the Contract Act, your Companies Act, your Bonus Act, etc. It's all business law. So a little bit of business law, so that you guys know the jargons and the terminology which is required in your corporate work. Moving on to F6, which is called taxation. This is a mix of international taxation and UK taxation. So a lot of international taxation in terms of transfer pricing and indirect tax is also included in F6. And this same paper gets converted into advanced taxation in your professional level papers. F8, which is audit and assurance. That's basically a lot of people end up making a career in audit, especially after completing ACCA. Audit is divided with mainly 3 parts, or sometimes 4 parts as well, which is stat audit, internal audit, forensic audit, and tax audit. So these are your main 4 audit branches. So it gives you insights about all 4. And in advanced audit assurance, it's more about a case study base of the 4, completing all 4 of them. Financial management is something, if someone wants to get into corporate finance, financial management in simple terms is sources of funds and allocation of funds, correct? Where do I source my funds from? Should I take a loan? Should I issue debentures? Should I issue shares, etc.? And how do I utilize the funds, right? If I have to build a factory, when I got the funds, if I did manage to raise 20 crore, how do I allocate the funds, correct? If I have to build a factory, do I build it? Do I build it in Mumbai, or do I build it probably somewhere north or somewhere in Gujarat, where land can be cheaper, where labor can be cheaper, etc.? That same and financial management gets converted to advanced financial management, which is corporate finance plus a little bit of introduction to the derivative market, which I'm sure you guys must have heard about. your futures, your forwards, your interest rate swaps, etc. So guys, this is an overview of each and every subject. Generally, the knowledge level and skill level is always compulsory. In professional level, there are two papers which are compulsory, which is strategic business leader, strategy and strategic business reporting. And besides that, there are four papers, which is advanced financial management, advanced performance management, advanced taxation, advanced audit and assurance. Okay. So from these four, you have to just you have to just give two papers. Which two papers you have to give, that depends upon you. Correct. I mean, I always prefer AFM and AAA, that is advanced financial management and advanced audit and assurance. The reason being is the pass percentage is highest in these. Correct. So if the pass percentage is higher, the chance of you clearing the papers also is high. Okay. Now, okay, I'll just explain everything again. So I mentioned that you have to give 13 papers, right? So you have to give these 13 papers. You can start these papers after 10th standard or after 12th standard or after graduation. You do end up getting a few exemptions if you are doing it after graduation. So, for example, if you're doing it after BCom, you get around 4 exemptions. Correct? If you're doing it after CA Inter, you get 6 exemptions. So moving forward, guys, coming back to the initial topic, we needed 3 things. We needed a BCom or a normal degree. We need work experience, and we need an additional certificate. So guys, let's start the main topic for today. Correct. The next 10 minutes, I'm just going to talk about this entire program which we have, which is the accelerated ACCA program. Okay, I'm going to go in depth. I'm going to tell you how it works. Why do you get this benefit? Okay, and how you can shape your career based on the accelerated program. Okay, so guys, as I mentioned that you have to give 13 papers. In simple words, in the ACCA accelerated program, you have to give only 4 papers to the ACCA body. To the ACCA body of just give 4 papers, we will get you 9 exemptions. So even if you have completed your 12th standard, you will get 9 exemptions. If you have completed your graduation, you will get 9 exemptions. Okay. A lot of people ask that how do I get these 9 exemptions? So let me break it down for you. If anyone is if anyone has completed his graduation, he'll agree to this, that a lot of the syllabus which is taught in ACCA and graduation or post graduation is very similar. I'm talking about the topics which are covered. Okay, you have capital budgeting, you have cash flow statements, you have ratio analysis, you have audit, you have a little bit of corporate law. So a lot of these topics are just repetitive. Okay, so you're going for BCom and you're giving the same, they're giving the exam for the same topic, and then you're going for ACCA and then you're giving the same topic. Correct. So there's a lot of repetition which does not make a lot of sense. Correct. You should be focusing more on your work experience rather than giving one paper to the ACCA body and one paper to your college, which has the exact same topics. Okay. So what we have done is we have collaborated with a couple of universities. Okay. And inside their BCom curriculum or inside the MCom curriculum, we have embedded the 9 papers. Correct. So if you look at these 9 papers, correct, we have embedded into your BCom or your BBA syllabus. Once that is embedded into your syllabus, you do not have to give these 9 papers to the ACCA body. You have to give these papers to the university itself. It's as simple as that. Okay. So you're not getting any added advantage. It's not like I'm telling you that, because a lot of people say that, you just connected the 9 papers with the professional level papers, and then you're telling me that I don't have to give the 9 papers. So that's not how it works. You have to give the 9 papers. You have to give the 9 papers, but you're giving it to the university, and the other 4 papers you'll have to give to the ACCA body since they're professional level papers. Okay. We have designed the curriculum in such a way that it's very obviously a question comes up that how will I give SBR? But don't worry, if you're going to give SBR, we're going to make sure that you're going to learn FA and FR before you give SBR. So we'll connect the dots, and you'll be prepared for SBR. It's not like, because if anyone just starts the ACCA course and he goes straight to the professional level papers, he's not going to clear the paper. I'll be very honest with you. He has to know what happens exactly in the 9 papers, and that is covered in your BBA or your BCom or your MCom syllabus. Okay, as I just mentioned, the first point is that integrated with ACCA. That means your 9 papers have been covered in your BBA or your MCom or your BB as mentioned. Now, this program is completely online. Okay, so your lectures will be conducted online for ACCA and your BBA or MCom, whatever you choose. Okay, I'm sure there are a lot of people who have completed 12th and a lot of people who have completed graduation. The papers are online. Now, where do I give these exams? Okay, the university exams, even those are online, but they are proctored exams, correct? So they are given a basis based on the ACCA curriculum itself. So the way the ACCA sets papers, similarly we have to also set papers. And if you and the papers set by the university have been vetted by the ACCA body themselves. So the ACCA body doesn't just give you the 9 exemptions. First they look at the entire curriculum, then they look at the papers which are going to set for the students, and only then will they give you permission. So the exam which you're going to give is going to be vetted and by the ACCA body from UK, and only then you will be giving those papers. So you'll be giving it in exactly the ACCA style. You just feel like you're giving an ACCA paper, but you're not paying that additional ACCA paper expense. So generally, an ACCA paper ranges from around 100 to around 130 pounds. For your knowledge and your skill level, you won't have to be giving those additional 100 pounds. Correct. You will not be giving. You will not be bearing that additional expense at all. You will be getting exemptions. You will not have to give those papers. You must focus only on your 4 professional level papers. So as the fourth point mentions that you save exam fees, you save exemption fees, and you save your subscription fees as well. So if you're doing a BBA paper in your first 2 years, you don't have to pay subscription fee. And if you're doing MCOM, you don't have to pay subscription fee in your first year. So that's around 16,000 rupees per year. So a lot of savings in terms of exam fee, you don't have to give exemption fee, subscription fee, you guys can do the math, right? In terms of exam fee, a lot of students calculate it as 9 papers. Like, okay, I'm saving exam fees for 9 papers. But that's if you're having a perfect run, right? And sometimes it's difficult to have a perfect run where you clear all 9 papers, correct? So generally people take around 12 attempts to complete your 9 papers because they do end up failing somewhere on that. Obviously, if you're perfect, no one is stopping you. Now, another reason why we started this course is because we've been teaching ACs for the last 7 years. A lot of students, okay, they have a lot of other things to do, like a college fest. Some of our students play football, some of them play cricket, and we don't want them to sacrifice on that, correct? So if they're going to be doing college plus ACCA plus they want to do extracurricular activities, it got a bit difficult, right? A lot of ACCA papers used to clash with their college fest. A lot of ACCA papers used to probably come on the same day where they had a cricket match also. So since the 9 papers are already integrated, they just find it much more smooth, right? Because they do not have to sacrifice a lot of stuff over there. But at the same time, they're getting the exact same degree. Yeah, the 4 papers can clash, but I think that sort of sacrifice you guys will have to make. But besides that, it's just smooth, right? Because you're giving the college exams on the dates where the college decides, which you already had to give, but you're giving them as ACCA papers. Another question which comes up is that, is this the same degree? So yes, you can write to the ACCA body if you like on a personal note, and it is this, you will be getting the exact same ACCA certificate. It will not be mentioned anywhere in the ACCA. So when you get an ACCA certificate, they do not mention which papers you have given and all those things, correct? It's just a certificate which you get, a membership certificate which you get. That means you have cleared your ACCA exams. Yes. Now, another thing which I would advise you guys to do if you're taking up this course, okay? As I mentioned, I don't know how many times I mentioned already, you need 3 things. When you're sitting for an interview, they would love to see your BCom degree. They would love to see an additional certificate like an ACCA certificate, and they would love to have work experience. So if you guys are in the 12th right now, or in graduation right now, just imagine studying since this course is online, you can study. You will get the recordings as well in case you're missing a lecture. You're studying ACCA, you're studying BCom as well, BBA as well. And if you can utilize that time, the remaining time, to do even an internship, okay, or if you can get work experience, you do get work experience as well. So 3 years down the line or 2 years down the line, you will get your ACCA certificate, you will get your BBA or MCOM, and you can have 2 to 3 years of work experience. When you're sitting over there in front of the interviewer, the chances of you getting a job at consultant level is almost 100%, right? Because that's what the interviewer wants. Now, a lot of people ask that why does the interviewer want work experience at such a young age? They want work experience at a young age because they want to see a discipline in the students. Correct. When I say discipline, when you get an internship or in a full-time job, you have to report at a particular time at 9 o'clock. There's a scanner. There's a manager who shouts at you. Correct. And all these, so you go to sleep early, you wake up early. You just discipline yourself, right? At the same time, you learn the basics which you need for a job, like you learn Excel on the job, you learn email etiquettes on the job, you know how to talk to a client right now. So these are the small things which a lot of interviewers look at, correct? And since you have work experience as well, you can do that. Coming to the fifth point, guys, a lot of you guys must have already started your BCom or your MCom or your MBA, and or some of you all do not want to do this course online. You guys do want to experience the college life as well, correct? You guys want to probably, I don't know, just go out with your friends, go and chill outside the college, attend college as well. So according to the Act of NEP 2020, which is passed, you can have a dual degree. So you can do your BCom from an HR college, and you can do a BBA from like Chandigarh University, and you can get both the qualifications at the same time. So you can get a dual degree as well. So yeah, that's about the accelerated program. I'll just talk a little bit about the scope of ACCA in India and abroad, and a very important point as to, so if you can see what's mentioned here is the various departments. You can, they're not all of them, but they're they're the most important ones. A lot of students have this thing that I want to work for a Big Four, correct? And that is the ultimate objective, that, I want to do anything, I want to work for KPMG. That's not the way you think, correct? You should never think that, oh, my ultimate objective is to work for KPMG. KPMG has more than 20 departments, correct? These are just a few of them. If I place you in a particular department, and on the first day you're really excited, oh yeah, I got into KPMG, but 6 months or 3 months down the line, you might regret it and you might just leave the job, because that is not something which you wanted to do, right? If you want to build a career in, let's say, in transaction advisory, but you get a job in probably risk or internal audit, correct? You might be happy on the first day, but eventually you will start hating it, correct? So there are various departments you can work in the Big Four. Do not just go by the label that I want to get into a Big Four. It's good to get into Big Four, but understand which department you want to go into. Okay, what I would advise you guys to do is that first of all, learn a lot about the departments. As I can mention a few here: accounts advisory people work in conversions, as I mentioned, Ind AS to IFRS to US GAAP, correct? That's accounts advisory. Auditing, as I mentioned, is divided into 3 parts. You can do stat audit. What does stat auditor do? He checks the financial statements. He doesn't prepare the financial statements, he just checks. What does internal audit or risk advisory do? They check the processes, right? The ultimate objective of risk advisory or internal audit is that how do I either reduce costs or increase sales for a client. You either reduce your cost or you increase your sales. You have forensic audit as well. Forensic audit of banks generally where frauds take place, right? Like the Vijay Mallya scam, what Vijay Mallya did, checking the entire process. That's called forensic audit. You're more like an undercover agent over there, but you require a little bit of tech also. Transaction advisory, mergers and acquisition is something which a lot of people want to get into, where they are closing deals. They are looking at, they're doing their due diligence for each and every deal for VCs as well. So yeah, there are a lot of departments. Corporate finance is another department. You have tax, you have management consulting, you have treasury, financial reporting. What I would advise you guys to do is that when you're deciding your career, right, make sure that you decide a particular, first of all, do a lot of research about each and every department. Now, how do you do research, correct? First of all, make a list of all the departments which you can find on Google. If you ask Google that, can you tell me more about risk advisory, right? Google's not the correct person to go to. If first of all, you guys need to be on LinkedIn. LinkedIn is not like Instagram. Go on LinkedIn. Let's say my journey. Okay, if I found to get into risk advisory, what I do is first I did a little bit of research. I found out about all the departments. I'm like, okay, I want to research more about risk advisory. You go on LinkedIn and you reach out to people who are working in risk advisory, but at various levels. Okay, at an exec, at a consultant, even an intern, a director, a partner, etc. And just ask them really nicely that, I'm looking to build a career in risk advisory. I would just like some advice. If I can have a phone call for 5 minutes, or if I can have a chat for 5 minutes. LinkedIn is not like Instagram. People are happy to help. They are happy to help. And why I said the various positions is because you are built. Remember, you will study for the next 3 years, but you'll be working for the next 20 years. Correct. So understand that what will I be doing today, and what will I be doing 5 years down the line. For example, any of the departments. Okay, the moment you reach manager level, your job is not to execute. You're never executing the audit. Your job will be to increase sales, to get more clients on board, since you know the product in and out. Correct. A lot of people didn't know that. There were a lot of people think that you'll continue doing audit your entire life. No, there's a point where you're more of a manager, where your job is just to increase sales and just manage all the clients. So speak to people at various levels. And as I mentioned, you can reach out to people at exec, consultant, assistant manager, senior manager, director, and reach out to a couple of people, right? Probably, I know some of them might not respond, but if you reach out to 5 execs, I know one person will respond for sure. Correct. So reach out to people, understand their journey, and then you can make a much better decision. I know this is time consuming, but it will help you in the future. The last thing what you want, as I mentioned earlier, is that you join a particular department, and 6 months down the line, you're like, nahi yaar, ye to nahi karna hai, chhod dete hain. So don't go there. Correct. Yeah, moving on. Corporate exposure at Zell, we do provide placements. When we get a placement opportunity from a particular department, we do mention to all our students. We help them prepare our CVs, and then they can float it as well. So yeah, thanks a lot, guys. I'm sure that you guys might have a few questions. So if you guys have any questions, can you just raise your hand and then I can unmute you guys. I think Gopal is raised his hand. Hi, Gopal.
Hi, this is Parani Muthu. Actually, my father name is Gopal.
Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, it's okay. So, actually, I am a qualified CA and CMA. Is there any other exemption in strategic level in ACCA? And can I save cost for exemption for those papers? Anything? Can you enlighten me?
So you're a chartered accountant.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're a chartered accountant, the accelerated program doesn't make sense to you because you already get 9 exemptions.
What? State exam?
You will get 9 exemptions.
9 exemption in strategic, that professional level,
No,
any
professional level. So professional level, no one gets exemptions. Absolutely no one.
That four papers are compulsory then.
Yeah,
two essential and 2 options we have to go through, right?
So you have SBR and SBL, which is compulsory. Okay, and then from the remaining 4, and since you're a chartered accountant, I'm sure that you must have given like a financial man, like you must have done SFM, right?
Yes.
So SFM and AFM is very similar. Audit is very similar. So what I would advise you is to just don't buy the books. You can go online on the ACCA body website and you can look at their curriculum. Correct.
Okay.
And I would advise you, since you're a chartered accountant, and just look at the curriculum. And I'm sure you must be having your strengths and weaknesses, sir. You must be good at costing or probably weak in audit while giving the paper, not from the corporate experience point of view. But whichever you deem fit, I think that's the one which you should go ahead with.
And I have more than 10-15 years experience in this PSU. Is that 3 years compulsory? There is an experience one level is there, no? EP.
Yeah. It's called PR.
Ethics something.
It's called PR. Yeah. So it's compulsory, correct, for you to become an ACCA member. And since you said you have 15 years of work experience, they will count. I mean, even your articleship counts as work experience.
Okay. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Hi, Pranit. Pranit, can you hear me?
Hi.
Yeah, Pranit. Good afternoon.
Yeah, good afternoon. Actually, I wanted to ask that like in CA, like ICAI CA, we have to do an articleship of 3 years after our inter. So like in ACCA also, is that the requirement, or like we have to do it after all?
I got your question. So yeah, it's a very valid point. Let's break it down. First of all, is 3 years of work experience required in ACCA? Yes. It's called work experience, not articleship. Okay.
Okay.
You do not have to be an article anywhere. You can use not an internship or something. You can take a full-time job as well. Now,
Okay.
the second question is, when do I do it, right? Because in CA, they've specified that you have to do it after CA inter and before final. In ACCA, you can do it before the papers, while giving the papers, or after the papers. It's up to you. So we have a couple of students who have already worked for 3 years and want to do ACCA, so it's valid for them. A lot of students, while giving their papers, they do their work experience, even that is valid. Or some people go with the approach and let me finish the papers first, okay, then I'll see. Because what some people,
Actually, I'm an undergrad student right now from BCom honors. So
okay,
that's why I had this
no, I
query.
understand that, but it's up to you, and it's more about work-life balance. Yes, because Praneet, a lot of people find it a bit hectic then. It's not actually that hectic, but you're working also, you're doing your BCom as well, and you're doing ACCA as well over the weekend, correct? But I'm sure that if you do end up doing all three together, that's where the interview really gives you the credit, right? Because they believe that you are a hard worker, you did sacrifice your time to build your career, and that's where you have the edge over there.
Actually, I was targeting for the investment banking industry.
Okay.
So
Yeah, so a little bit about that. A lot of people do want to get into investment banking, correct?
yes, yes,
Just a couple of insights about investment banking. I have a couple of friends working in investment banking. First of all, it's not easy. It's not
yes,
easy
I
to
know
get
that.
in. It's not easy to work also. Like you have to probably say bye-bye to your weekends, or if you're a football fan, a cricket fan, it's really hectic, right? Because it's
Yeah,
client
long
facing, and
working hours, right?
the thing is, it's long working hours, but you're handling someone else's funds, right? Now, tomorrow, if I
Yes,
tell you,
yes,
Praneet, that you give me 100 rupees of yours, I'll handle it. You're not going to leave me. You're going to be on
yes,
top
of
of my
course,
head every day, right? So
of course.
that's one thing which you should consider in investment banking. The second thing is, there are a lot of investment banking jobs, but all of them are not front end. Okay, when I say front end and back end, is a huge difference. Like for example,
Okay,
Morgan Stanley has a lot of jobs in terms of investment banking operation side, right? It's more like a back end job where they're working for clients probably who are from the New York Stock Exchange as well, correct? But they're
okay.
not meeting the client; they're just doing the back end work, NAV calculation, etc.
Uh,
So
yes. So like, what about the mergers and acquisitions thing? Uh,
yeah, that's more like a front
any
end job,
department?
correct?
Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Praneet, I still feel you're a little bit confused. There's a difference between M&A and investment banking also. The first thing you need to do is,
Okay.
if you just go on Google, you'd understand the biggest difference between your M&A and your investment banking, etc. Okay, number one. Number two
Mm.
is the best way for you. I think you seem like a guy who wants to get into front end, right? Right,
Yes.
speaking to clients
Yes.
as well.
Yes.
Don't keep your hopes high from a KPMG or from a JP Morgan right now. I'll be very honest with you. Okay. What
Okay.
I would advise you, there's a lot of boutique Indian companies, okay,
Like,
who are probably handling 100 crore of funds as well. Correct.
okay.
JP level over there. Correct. You should get a lot of experience on these boutique companies first, probably 1 year,
Like,
2 years. Okay, so you have I know my friend working for Artha Venture Fund. Okay, they are VC plus investment banking. So you'll have to do your research. Where are you from, Praneet?
I'm from NCR.
Delhi NCR. Oh,
Yes.
so I'm from Mumbai. I know a couple of companies in Mumbai, but don't worry, it's
Okay.
not very difficult to find. You have to use LinkedIn, okay, and you have to probably just
Yes.
search
Yes.
through
I'm
it.
there.
You'll find a lot of companies who are not your JP Morgan level. They're tier
Mm-hmm.
2 or tier 3 level, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And they're looking for people as well, people like you, correct? Uh,
Yes.
they might not pay you that much initially. I'll just give you a little bit more career advice, Praneet. What you should do is you could start with the boutique firm for probably 1 or 2 years, correct? Gain some experience. Then you're eligible for an interview for your JP Morgan and all those things, correct? And it's a fair ask
Yes.
from JP Morgan that they're asking over there that you get 2 years of experience from a boutique company. But Praneet, if you're actually getting to hardcore investment banking, okay,
Mm.
as I mentioned earlier, also you'll study for 2-3 years, but your career has to be for next 10-20 years, right?
Yes,
You
of
should
course.
be looking to start your own IB firm somewhere down the line, because that's where you'll gain your real profits. That's where you'll see the weekends which you gave up on. That's where you'll see the benefits. The moment you get your own clients and you have your own company, that's what you should be looking at as your end goal. Correct.
Yeah,
I know
of course.
experience matter, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a very hard journey. You might find
Yeah.
people in audit getting a better salary than you right now in the start, correct? But
Wow.
it's more about winning the game in the end for investment banking, because you'll be slogging, but you'll see the
Yes.
benefits not now. Probably it might take time. It might take 10 years also. But when you start getting your own clients, that's when you deal in close and all those things.
So like, what are the exit options in IB?
What are the?
What are the exit options from IB investment
I
bank?
didn't get a question. What do you mean by exit options exactly?
Like, if after 10 to 20 years, I want to leave this. So
Mhm.
like, what are
Hey,
the
if you have
exit
done
options?
IB, any other department will take you.
Is it?
Are you've been working for 10 hours, 12 hours a day. Any of the audit people will pick you up. See, that's the
Okay.
thing that people get confused. People think that it's only about what you do. See, if you are, in simple words, if you're a neurosurgeon, you can always do what an MBBS does, right? So
Mhm.
I know it might you need to tweak yourself a little bit, but in the end of the day, you'll get it. But if you're, that's what I'm saying, that, but that's not the way you think, right? Right now, what you're thinking, when you're saying that, what is my exit option? That's the last thing you need to carry when you think. You need to think when you're building a career. Like, you should think about your exit
Yeah,
option right
actually,
now, because that's
it's a very
already, you're thinking
far-fetched
like a
thing. Like,
pessimist from the start only. Then you'll never
yeah,
end up being a IB. You'll stop in the next 6 months only. So that's not the way you think about it. Give it a thought
yeah.
again. I know a lot of people watch shows on Netflix and get inspired by investment bankers. But personally, I
That's not
think,
the case with me, but yeah.
yeah, I get it. No, I get it. People get influenced by suits also. They want to become a lawyer just because they saw Harvey Specter. But that's not the reality, right?
Yeah,
We
yeah.
need to be a bit more practical in life. And I'm
Mhm.
clearly mentioning it to you that even if you get into a boutique company, initially your pay might not be that much, but are you willing to do the long hours? It's very easy to say, I will do long hours,
Mhm.
correct? But
Yeah,
when
yeah.
push comes to shove, and then the pressure actually starts falling upon you, and I'm sure that you all have other duties as well, right? I'm not going to talk about chilling and all those things. We have family, we have to spend time, and then it's up to you, man.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for all the
Yeah,
clarification you gave
yeah.
me.
All the best.
Thank you so much.
Vaishwik,
Hello.
hi.
Hello. Yes. Am I audible?
Yeah, audible. Please go ahead.
Yes. I'm currently a CA final student, and I was exploring options in this ACCA. So, can you tell me what the scenario stands for a CA final student?
Have you completed group 1 or something like that?
No, I took the exam, but I did not clear, and I will be taking the exam again.
No,
Um,
like, so you have not cleared any of the groups, right?
no. Both groups are pending.
Okay. So you have both the groups pending, and how many attempts have you given up till now, if you don't mind me asking?
It's fine. I have taken 3 attempts.
Okay. And are you currently working anywhere?
Actually, my we have a CA practicing firm. My father is also practicing CA, so I work along with him. We have an
Okay.
office in Andheri.
Okay. That's great, man. That's great to hear. I can understand what you're going through. I'm sure that you must have probably failed a few groups because of 1 or 2 papers as well. It's not always all the papers.
Yes,
I know how
yes.
difficult it gets. But yeah, you can consider ACCA. Since you've given any attempts, just asking you a question again, that I know you have not
Yes,
cleared any of the groups. But have you cleared specific papers? Like, for example, you failed the group, but you cleared audit. Is that true?
yes, yes,
Correct.
yes.
So what I need to do, Vaishvik, is I need to look at your last 3 attempts ka mark sheets. I'll have to have a look at. Correct. Because
Okay,
based on that, I
okay,
can make a much better decision.
okay.
Okay. So I'll
So
do one
yes,
thing.
yes, yes,
Vaishvik, I'll ask my consultant to get in touch with you. Okay?
yes,
They'll
yes.
understand your mark
Sure.
sheet much better, and they can advise you further on.
Yes, because I have heard that if I score like 40 plus in this exam,
Yeah, that's what I'm
so
saying, that you must have not cleared the group, but you must have got 40 plus, with which you can avail exemptions. I'm not
yes,
exactly sure which papers give you which exemption, but
okay,
you do get exemptions for sure. So I'll ask someone who's an expert at that to get in touch with you, and then we'll take
and
it forward from there.
yes, yes, and also I was planning to work in the area of taxation.
Okay.
So if I get this qualification of ACCA, so like what is the relevance of this qualification to work in taxation in India?
Okay. So in taxation in India, number one, let's divide into two parts. One is IDT and DT. I'm sure you must be knowing about it, right?
Yes, yes,
So
sure.
DT not that much. IDT yes. Yeah, IDT yes, and transfer pricing a lot.
Okay, transfer pricing.
A lot. Yeah.
And not in this income tax.
DT not that much.
Okay. Mhm. Okay, and yeah, and also I'm like pursuing my LLB degree. Like
Okay.
just I had begun with it, and I'm in the second year LLB, pursuing from a college at Bandra.
Grizzly College or National College?
No, GJ Advani. Yeah, the
National
college
College.
stands right behind the National College campus.
Yeah, I get it. I get it. So
So
it's good. I mean, it's law has always been a good merger with the CA or ACCA course because it
yes,
helps you in a
yes,
lot of deals with your clients as well.
yes.
And
So
clients love
just
to go to a place where they can have a same lawyer and the same guy filing
mhm.
their returns.
Yes, yes. So I just wanted to know, like, this LLB is now the sure thing, like, I will get it in a year. So I wanted to know whether it will hold any relevance with my current CA or the ACCA thing. Now it should hold any value, right? If I'm doing
So
LLB.
yeah, it definitely holds value. But see, as I
Yes.
mentioned, there's a little bit of connection between your LLB and your CA, not that much, correct? Because LLB, I don't think focuses. I've never done LLB. I'm
Okay.
not expert at that. But LLB doesn't focus only on company law, correct? I'm sure that
Okay.
LLB like focuses on probably criminal, civil as well, at least an introduction to all those
Mm-hmm.
departments. I think LLB is an overall law degree, not
Yes.
specified to corporate law itself. The only thing which will
Okay.
benefit you from LLB is your corporate law part, like your Contract
Mm.
Act, or probably if you say your Bonus Act and your Gratuity Act. All these things are more
Yes.
relevant for an CA and ACCA. I mean, there's no connection between a criminal law, knowledge of criminal or civil law with your CA and ACCA degree.
Okay.
So if
So
you're doing
like,
LLB, I think in that
yes.
also people do branch out eventually. I don't know how
Mm.
it works. I've not done LLB
Like
myself.
for the tax practice, will it come handy, this LLB degree?
Yeah, it will definitely. That's what I'm saying. To say
Mm.
that if any of your clients, correct,
Mhm.
I'm sure that already has clients who come to him for probably audit or for taxation. Yes, but
Yes.
the moment you have an LLB degree as well, right, and you gain
Mhm.
a bit of experience through your clients itself, they can have a one sort like they can have a one sort solution, right? That they will go to Vaishvik not only for filing returns but for their corporate law queries as well. That's the way you
Okay.
prepare a business model where you're looking at client, like you're trying to like probably get as much as revenue as you can from one client itself, right?
Okay.
You know, like the way you sell, sometimes you sell a phone, but you sell the phone, you sell a laptop as well, correct?
Okay.
So if a shop is just selling phones, people just go to buy phones over there. But the moment he's selling phones and laptops, and your trusted client, the guy always comes to
Okay.
you. And the
Mm.
moment you start telling that I sell laptops as well, he already trusts you, right? The trust factor is already there. So the only
Right.
thing
Right.
which is needed is just show him your expertise, and you win the crowd over there as well.
Okay.
And you're not the
And
first one to do it. A lot of people have done CA and LLB, ACCA and LLB, and they give advice in accounts, taxation, and law.
okay.
But yeah, it is
Okay.
restricted to corporate law. I'm saying it again. Don't go into your criminal law and all. It will be
Yeah. Like,
very difficult
if
to
I'll be
manage.
going like these areas only, like taxation laws, the corporate laws being there.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes. And you always spoke about having the work experience requirement of ACCA, which is
You
three
have worked
years.
with your dad's firm, no? That's counter experience.
So, okay. And previously also I've done my articleship also, right? Because I'm a
That's also
CA
counted.
finance student. Will it be counted?
Yeah, it's counted.
So like separately, I don't have to do
No,
this 3 years for the ACCA, right?
that's fine. It's counted. As long as you have done something related to finance and accounts, I'm sure you
Okay.
have done that in your articleship. So
Yes,
yeah.
yes. Okay, yeah. So the only query left is regarding the exemptions that I can avail.
Yeah, so that I'm not an expert at, but don't
Yes,
worry, I'll
yes.
have someone get in touch with you.
Yeah,
They'll have to look at
sure.
your mark sheets once. After looking at their
Okay.
mark sheets, they'll give you much better clarity as to
The
how many
mark
exams.
sheet of the previous attempt or like
Yeah, your previous attempts, your last 3 attempts that you mentioned, we need to understand
okay,
that.
okay,
Thanks a
okay.
lot, Vaishvik.
Sure, sure, sure. Thank you for taking my question.
No stress. Hi Yash, I've just unmuted you.
Yes, hello, am I audible?
Yeah, Yash. Good afternoon, Yash.
Good afternoon. Actually, my question is, I'm a fresher BCom graduate. I have graduated in 2022. Uh, I have NISM certificates. I am equity derivative certified. That is Series A, and I also have qualified research analyst and NCFM fundamental and technical analysis exams. So my ultimate goal is to learn financial modeling and I want to be a financial analyst. I want to work and gain experience by working in a good firm like Big Four, as you were explaining before. And then ultimately, I want to handle the finances of my father's firm. He is running a private limited company, and I want to just handle all the finances there. So the issue is I am unable to get any job in the Big Four or any big company right now. So I was thinking that I should pursue ACCA so that I have some qualification to add into my resume so that I could get a job into a Big Four. So is that a good option, or I should just go for FMBA of CFI?
Okay, so yeah, that was a bit complicated, but let's just break it down, Yash. Okay, one thing at a time. You did mention you want to get into you started by mentioning you want to do financial modeling.
Yes,
Correct.
a financial analyst and financial modeling.
Guys, financial modeling is just a tool. It's a way you use Excel. Correct. It's just a fancy word for using Excel, nothing else. It's
Yes,
not
sir.
something which is rocket science. You can learn it like on YouTube also. But you can't do financial modeling unless you know the terms are used in the Excel sheet, right? Unless you know the financial statements itself, correct? I've always stressed that financial modeling is just making data is more like data visualization, just making sure that the data looks better and much more neat. But you need to know what data is. You need to know what assets are. You need to know what current assets are, what fixed assets are, the differentiation, how depreciation works, what sort of depreciation methods are there for various assets. All these things, financial modeling is not going to teach you. Financial modeling is how to use Excel much more smoothly, nothing else. Okay. You did mention you want to. So just tell me one thing, Yash. What is your end goal? Is your end goal that you want to manage your father's financial statements?
Yes, I want to work in my father's firm and handle all the finances there.
And what if you don't mind me asking, what exactly is your father's business? You don't need to mention the name, but what industry is he in exactly?
So we manufacture car care products. So
Okay.
yeah, like dashboard shiners and etc.
And you're currently using any software over there, like SAP or something, or Tally?
It is only Tally.
It's
So
only Tally.
that's why I want to get into a good firm so that I could learn that how actually industry works.
Okay, so I get it. So I understand everything from your perspective. What your ideal job would be is that the only advice I can give you is, since you mentioned car parts and all those things, I know that you can get into Big Four, right? Into accounts advisory. But Yash, in Big Four, when you enter, I mean, in simple terms, खुद company nahi hai. So you can't say that I want to join an automobile sector. They have automobile jobs over there as well, right? Clients who are automobile, like your Tatas and all those things. But you can't go and tell them that I want to work in a particular sector. It's very difficult, very difficult. Correct?
No, actually, looking into a specific department would be fine with me. I just want to
exactly.
know other tools and applications.
I get that. What I would advise you is that if you could probably work in an automobile company itself, I think that I don't know if I'm right or wrong, but I think that will give you much better experience to handle. See, you have to work towards your end goal. Your end goal is around to manage my dad's financial statements in a much more smoother way, correct? A much more efficient way. And probably if your dad has 10 employees in the finance and accounting team right now, your objective should be that how do I get that down to 2? But at the same time, the efficiency increases, and it's possible. I've seen a lot of cases, not in the automobile industry, but I've seen a lot of people using tech and understand that what exactly are the big four doing or what exactly are the big companies doing, and we can implement that in your small business, and you can make sure that it's efficient, it's cost saving as well, correct? I mentioned in risk advisory also, I've done risk advisory. Your ultimate objective is two things: either increase sales or you reduce cost, correct? And that's the way you should be thinking about your dad's business also if you want to handle the finance and accounting team ultimately. Now, I get your point that experience before you get into your dad's company, experience is required, which is true, correct? And as you mentioned, that getting a job also is a bit difficult in the Big Four, right? Now, the Big Four, as I mentioned, I kept on mentioning that they do require additional certificate nowadays. They prefer it a lot. Like, take a BCom care, very good, but we need that additional ACCA certificate or whatever it is. So you should be, if you want to get into the Big Four, you should be looking to get an additional degree like an ACCA or probably CFA or something like that. And once you get that degree, you can look at getting to the Big Four, or probably, as you mentioned, the automobile industry, or like your Tata Motors or something like that. And once you're done with that, then you have vision, right? You've got first-hand experience, and then you can probably come back to your dad's company 3-4 years later, and then look at how you can work that out.
Got it.
ठीक है. Thanks, Yash. Hi, Poonam. Hello, Poonam, can you hear me?
Yes. Hello.
Yeah, Poonam, go ahead.
Yeah. Sir, I just want to just confirm that is ACCA difficult or CA?
Okay. Poonam, if you're talking about individual exams, it's the same thing. Okay. It's not like ACCA is simpler than CA, but it's just the exam structure, Poonam. You know, in CA, when you're going to give CA final paper, you have to pass all 4 papers or you fail all 4 papers, correct? So the student itself is going with a lot of stress that if my first paper is only bad, okay, if accounts is only bad, why should I even give costing, FM, etc.? Correct?
Yeah, right.
So, but if I told you to go for the CA paper, the CA final paper, and just go give one paper every quarter, study 3 months for this one paper and go and give it, you will pass. Correct? That's the difference between ACCA and CA. So the way that the structure is, it's much more simpler to clear the papers. But if you're talking about in the paper what comes, it's more or less the same.
Okay.
And the fact that you can give the paper every quarter is just much more simpler then.
Okay. Then we have to complete the one subject in 3 months. Or 2 subjects
You can
in 3 months.
you can give 4 papers in every 3 months. It's up to you. I'm just saying is you can make your life simpler. It's up to you.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, Poonam. Hi, Brian.
Hi, I hope I'm audible.
Yeah, you're audible.
Okay, so I'm currently working at Deloitte, okay, in the tax function, and I'm pursuing my CA final as well. Okay. So I was planning to move abroad in, let's say, one and a half year. Okay. So I just want to know the relevance of. So currently I'm working in tax. So will ACCA give me an edge abroad? Because Indian taxation otherwise won't make sense. My experience in tax here.
Couple of questions. You're working in direct tax?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Which city, if you don't mind me asking?
Mumbai.
The Parel office?
No, I'm actually working in the Thane one.
Okay, the Thane office. Okay, great. So that's great, Brian. Which country are you looking for?
See, I have not zoned in currently, but I may think of Canada or Australia.
Okay, so that's a very important question. Okay, if you're saying Canada and Australia, okay, first of all, so how many years at Deloitte?
A couple of years at Deloitte and 4.5 years experience before that at another firm, including my articles.
Okay, that's great. Let's break it down. You said Australia and you said Canada, right? Australia has their own degree called Australian CPA. Canada has their own degree called Canadian CPA.
Correct.
Okay. Now you cannot give those papers in India.
Correct.
You have to go there and give those papers. Correct.
Yep.
If you're looking at both the Canadian CPA and Australian CPA have a tie-up with the ACCA body. Okay. So if you're going to Canada or you're going to Australia, okay, and you apply for Canadian CPA or Australian CPA, you will get exemptions. You just have to give one paper, which is their legal paper, the one module which they have, correct, which is their legal law, which obviously I agree to the fact because their legal laws are a bit different over there.
Correct.
Okay, so your best pathway is that. So if you go to these countries, what is the most valuable thing? I'll be very honest, they do value ACCAs a lot. They won't value CAs at all. They do value ACCA a lot, but they'll obviously prefer a Canadian CPA or an Australian CPA over an ACCA. Agreed?
Understand. Yep.
Correct. But your best route over there is that if you go there and you start studying over there, your Australian CPA, it might take you a year or so, or more, probably 1.5 years. Correct. But if you can cut that down to a quarter, because you have to just give one module, it just makes more sense for you.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Correct. Now, number two, what I would do if I was in your shoes right now, I would continue working at Deloitte. Okay. I'm not reached the department yet. I'll reach the department part eventually. Okay. I'll continue working in Deloitte. I will complete my ACCA certificate. So I have my CA and I have some certificate which does have a little bit of relevance over there. Correct. I wouldn't advise you to just go to Canada or Australia, just ask for a PR in Canada and go there and then do the Canadian CPA and then look for a job. I don't think that is the correct way to go over there. The best way to go over there is get a job based on your ACCA degree. Probably not the best job at that time, correct? But to get a job using your ACCA degree, number one. And once you're there, okay, then whether it's a quarter or 6 months, you can probably take your time and finish your Canadian CPA and look for a probably increase in the pay scale at that same job itself, or probably you can shift. I wouldn't just pack my bags, just get a PR and go there and say I'll figure it out. I don't think that is the most advisable thing to do. Correct?
I totally
and
understand.
Especially when you said that you're probably looking at 1.5 years later. Correct? There's a storm coming over there. I'm sure that it's already started. The recession has started. I know in the last 5 years, a lot of people have gone to Canada. I'm not demotivating you, but there is a storm coming over there. So that's why I'm saying that do not just pack your bags and go. Don't do that.
Understand.
Correct. So that was my little bit of advice on how you'll go there. Now coming to the department, right? I believe you mentioned you have 4.5 years of experience. It's totally direct tax.
Previously, I mean it was a mid-sized firm, so I had experience in audit and tax. So it was a mix earlier, but now it's totally tax and Deloitte.
Okay. I'll be honest with you, audit is much more preferred. It's much more easier, correct? In terms of relatability, right? Especially something like internal audit is almost the same thing. Okay.
Correct.
Whether you're doing it in India or whether you're doing it in Canada or you're doing it in, I don't know, Madagascar, it doesn't make a difference. Okay. But if you're looking at taxation, now understand one thing, a lot of the world's taxation is based on the UK taxation. Our full taxation of 5 heads is taken from UK itself. Okay, even they have the same heads. Obviously, we have a lot of things which are added, like in the last couple of years, last couple of decades, actually. Correct? Your ATC and all those things. But obviously, see the way I see it now, Brian. If I had to hire you, correct? And if I'm at Deloitte Canada, if I'm in Deloitte Toronto, right? Do I choose Brian, who's come from a direct tax experience of India, who can learn really quickly and get used to the Canadian tax laws, or do I hire X, who's probably not that experienced as Brian, but at the same time he's well versed with the Canadian laws. He has 1 year of experience in Canadian taxation. Okay. All I'm trying to say is that you might get a job, you will get a job, but you might have to step down 1 or 2 years if you're willing to do it. All I'm trying to say is that if, like, based on your experience at that time, let's say that Brian deserves an assistant manager in India, correct? You might have to come down to a senior consultant to probably get into the market. I'm being very honest with you. I mean, the way I think is, when I put myself in this situation, I always put myself in that guy's shoes, right? In the guy who's going to hire you, right? It's not always good to be optimistic. Correct? That's one way to do it. You will figure it out. But I always put myself in that person's shoes and saying that what will he think, that should I choose Brian or should I choose X?
Okay.
Correct?
Yeah, totally understand.
But in terms of audit, I have a lot of friends who have done audit, internal audit and stat audit, and accounts advisory also, working on US GAAP and IFRS conversion and all. For them, it was not a trouble. Like, you reserve the assistant manager, you'll get assistant manager because the work experience is directly related. Correct?
True.
Because there's no training required. Like, I had a friend called Mazhar. He went straight, right? Because there was no training for Mazhar. He was already working on US plans itself.
Correct.
So for him, if he deserved the AM, he got the AM, right?
Yep.
But for you, it might be a bit difficult because you might have to take a step down. Then it's up to you, right? But even if you're taking a step down, take the step down, but get something of relevant, like a good job over there, and then you should move over there. Don't just take a PR and run away. That's my little bit of advice. Now, secondly, when you're searching for jobs, right? What I just mentioned is I just broke it down, right? I'm still not the expert you reach out to. Use LinkedIn. I don't know why a lot of people don't use LinkedIn. It's not like Instagram. Just go and speak to a lot of people. You'll find a lot of profiles have shifted from India to Canada who are doing taxation. You'll find more than thousands of people. Correct? Be aggressive. Message 100 of them. I'm sure 20 will reply. Correct? You'll get first-hand experience of what exactly. First of all, always ask them what is the situation right now. They're the best ones to say. I just said there's a recession coming, but that's because I read the newspaper, right?
Correct.
They're the ones who are thinking that, okay, we were at 5 clients last year, we've got 20 clients more this year. So they're the ones who can actually tell you what's exactly happening, right? Remember, the recession doesn't affect each and every department. It doesn't. Sometimes it booms some departments, right? So I'm honestly not the correct person to tell you that whether taxation will boom or not in Canada. The guys working there itself will give you a lot of insights. They will open up to you. They will, and you're asking a valid question, man. So it's not like you're asking something very stupid. So reach out to them. And as you mentioned, Australia also, reach out to them also. And another thing which you need to understand is, it works like India, even those countries are like India. If you want to find an IT job in India, which city would you go to? Which is the first city?
Bangalore.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
But at the same time, I wouldn't think about Delhi for IT that much, generally speaking. I've not heard, right? Even it works out there, it works similar out there as well, right? I mean, if you look at America also, most of the IT companies are in Silicon Valley. You don't find a lot of tech companies in New York, not those many. It's more about finance, right? I'm speaking this because I don't know about Canada and Australia that much, but I'm sure that it works similar out there. You need to understand where the finance hub is, whether it's Toronto, whether it's Vancouver in Australia, whether it's Sydney, whether it's Melbourne. All I'm trying to say is you need to prepare a report for yourself, correct? A detailed report, and you will come to a conclusion. And that comes by only speaking to a lot of people. Like today, we had a good 10-minute discussion. You learned a few things, right? But speak to as many people as you can, and you will definitely be able to crack it. Secondly, does your Deloitte right now? I know for EY for a fact has a EY GDS, EY Global Delivery Services. I know KPMG has it. It's called KGS. I don't know. I think Deloitte also might have it, which is Deloitte International Services. Do you guys have it?
Well, I may have to inquire because not that I'm aware of at the moment.
That is the easiest route to go to your Canada and Australia. I'll be very honest. Like all my friends who have gone, they used to work in EY, GDS, KGS, and it's just very easy for them because the clients are also already international, right? So you have first-hand experience. Unfortunately, none of them used to work in tax, but don't give up so easily. Prepare a report for yourself and make decisions based on that.
All right, thanks a lot for this.
Yeah. Thanks, Brian. Thanks a lot, guys. I think I'll have to conclude right now. We're already 10 minutes past clock, but thanks a lot, guys. I hope you enjoyed it and hope you guys enjoy the remaining weekend. I'll see you all. Bye-bye.